Hello viewers, welcome to my channel Learn with Ravi. In my previous session of C language, I began the concepts of the basic intro to computer science. I defined the basic terminology which we normally use in a real-time computer science language. In this session, we will see about the concepts of C language. Let us begin with the very basic question, what is C? And the straight answer would be C is a high-level programming language. C is an imperative programming language. We have declarative programming language. We also have imperative programming languages. So keep in mind C is a high level imperative programming language. When I say the word high level programming language, it means that the instructions are written in a language understood by the user, generally English. Yes, we have spent some time on high level programming languages and low level programming languages in the previous session. You can go back to it. So C is a high level imperative programming language. The word imperative programming language means that every statement you write in C program makes a difference in the logic. Yes, now going ahead, C is a highly structured procedure oriented programming language. Now when I say the word highly structured, it means that you need to follow some set of rules to write a C code. So there are some predefined constructs and you should follow those predefined constructs to write a C code. And we have procedure oriented programming language. We also have object oriented programming language. We will speak about this procedure oriented and object oriented programming languages sometime later. But for now, keep in mind that C is a highly structured procedure oriented programming language. Now the question is, who developed C language? And the answer goes like this. C language was developed by a person by name Dennis M. Ritchie in the year 1972 at Bell Laboratories. And the motto of developing C language was to design an operating system. And that operating system was Unix. So Unix has been designed and developed by using C language by Dennis M. Ritchie. He has used the pre-existing programming language constructs and he expanded them to get a new language called as C language. And keep in mind the traditional C language came into picture in the year 1972 by Dennis M. Ritchie. Yes, now C is a platform dependent language and C is an architecture dependent language. What do you mean by the word platform dependent? Platform dependency indicates operating system dependencies. When you write a C program in Windows OS, the same C program in Mac OS, the same C program in Unix or Ubuntu or Linux Fedora, there are some small minute issues found with respect to OS changes. So C is purely a platform dependent language. Okay, and when I say the word architecture dependent language, this word architecture dependent means that the number of bytes allocated, that is memory allocation, varies from architecture to architecture. We will see the differences between the memory allocations in the upcoming sessions. For now, keep in mind that C is a platform dependent language. C is an architecture dependent language. Fine with that? So going ahead. Now, whenever you learn a language, the question is, why do you use a language? We use a language to communicate. So when C is a programming language, then what are the basic applications of C language? So the question comes like this. The applications of C language are, so you can use C language to develop system softwares and you can also use C language to develop application softwares. So C can be called as a general purpose programming language using which we can design and develop system softwares and also application softwares. So let us see what are the system softwares developed by using C language. The system softwares developed by using C language are, we have already seen that Unix has been developed by using C language. So people design operating systems using C language. People use C language to develop device drivers. So when you speak of robotics, when you want to make a robot work according to the instructions, people dump in C code. So machinery are accessed easily by using simulators, and simulators have been designed are still designed by using C language. So device drivers, network drivers, operating systems are developed by using C language. Keep that in mind. And going ahead, what are the application softwares which are developed by using C language? Browsers like Firefox, Chrome, Google file system, gaming consoles like the Snake game, many other games are still developed by using C language. Text editors are developed by using C language, and to make things beautiful, Adobe Photoshop is one beautiful application of C language. So I want to tell you that C language is used to design both system softwares as well as application softwares. Hence, C is called as a general purpose programming language. Is that fine? So going ahead, now, what are the features of C language? What makes C language unique? The first feature of C language that makes it unique is portability. Now, what does portability indicate? Portability indicates that the usability of the same fragment of C code on different environments. Write a C code once, you can port that particular C code onto different other environments, make some small changes and make the C code execute it. So portability is one beautiful feature of C language. And the next feature of C language would be modularity. What is modularity? We can divide a larger block of program into smaller blocks of code, and we can handle the smaller units easily and we can run them individually. So what is the beauty of modularity? Debugging becomes easy and execution of the code takes lesser time. The next feature of C language is the speed. As C language is a compiler based programming language, the programs of C language are compiled, so they take lesser time to compile and execute when compared to interpreter based languages. So C is basically a compiler based language, so it gets compiled faster and execution takes lesser time. So going ahead, what you observe, the next feature of C language that makes it unique is case sensitive. When I say the word case sensitive, the lowercase and the uppercase are different in C language. Suppose for example, lowercase a and uppercase a are treated separately in C language. So keep that in mind. So C is a case sensitive language. And the next important feature of C language is memory management. C language has a concept of dynamic memory management where it lets the user use memory based on his requirement. Though we have static allocation, dynamic memory management helps the user use the required amount of memory only. Clear with that? So that is one important concept of C language. And C is equipped with a rich library of functions. You need not write all the code from the scratch. We have libraries found and you can use those libraries in your programs and use the predefined functions found in those libraries. So the program size can be reduced. Fine. So the features of C language are portability, modularity, speed, case sensitivity, memory management, and rich library. So going ahead, now if somebody questions you what is the history of C language, on the screen you have C languages being displayed one after the other. So in 1960 we had algol. So the roots of C are taken from algol also. And in 1967 we got BCPL, which was developed by Martin Richards, and that BCPL was modified into B language in the year 1970 by Ken Thompson. Now this B language has been expanded, has been extended by Dennis Ritchie, and he named that extension as traditional C in 1972. This traditional C has been further upgraded by a person by name Kerningham. He supported Ritchie to add some new features and they call it as K and RC, and that was in the year 1978. And then they standardized this C language and they call it as ANSI C, and that was in the year 1989. Keep in mind, ANSI C is a standard C used by all users throughout the world. So ANSI C is also called as C89. 89 indicates the year in which it was being released. So ANSI C is the standard C. It is also called as C89 and it has been developed by the ANSI. ANSI stands for American National Standard Institute, right? And then this ANSI C has been further modified, and they added a rich set of library, and that has been called as ANSI on ISOC, and that was the year 1990, and they call it as C90. And then in the year 1999 they released a new version called as C99, and the final version what people are using throughout the world today is C11, and that is the standard version released in the year 2011. So these are the standard versions of C language that people are using till date. Different companies develop different rich set of libraries, but the basic standard C will not change. So the latest version of C language used by the companies in the market is C11. I told you in the first line saying that C is a highly structured program. I told you that we should follow a set of rules to work with C language. Now, what are the set of rules designed? So the C program has got a structure, and you should write the program in that pattern only. The first section is documentation section, where we describe the C program, we describe the programmer who wrote the program, at what time and date. So the functionality of that program is explained in this documentation section, something like your help functionality in your regular softwares. So documentation section is used to know the functionality of that particular program, the variables used, the developer name, time and year. So that is how we use documentation section. And the next one is we use a pre-processor section. Pre-processor statements are those statements which are processed before the actual processing is done. We use some predefined directives, we use some user defined directives in this pre-processor statements, and before the actual code is being compiled and executed, the program gets expanded. I told you that C language has got a rich set of library, and we can include few files from those libraries. So when a particular file from the library is included in a C program, we expand that file in this pre-processor part. So that is where we use the concepts of pre-processor statements. And then we have the concepts of global variable declaration section. Whenever you want to use few variables in your C program, then they should be declared. Until and unless a variable is declared, you cannot use it in your C program. Now that declaration can be of two types. First one is global declaration, second one is local declaration. Depending on the functionality, we declare it either globally or locally. So if you want to declare it globally, we use the global declaration section. And then comes a user defined function called as main. The basic syntax is displayed. It is int main, and we have a opening flowery brace and a closing flowery brace, and we write our code in between these flower braces only. And these flower braces contains local variable declaration, they also contains executable statements, we also have user defined functions being called. And as it is int main, we write a return 0 or return 1 at the end. We will learn about this int main return statements in the concept of functions, but for now keep in mind that this is the structure of that main. So main is a user defined function that returns an integer type value. And then if you want to declare any user defined functions, then we have a area called as user defined functions. So this is how we define the C language program, and we need to follow all these things in this particular pattern only. Fine with that? So hence we say C is a highly structured programming language. So going ahead, now what are the execution steps of C language? Let me tell you these concepts now, and I'll also repeat the same story with the program later. Okay, the story goes like this. On the screen you have set of blocks defined as a flow chart. The first block says the C source code. For example, I'm writing a program called as program1.c. So .c indicates the source code, and before that code is being compiled, first step is we need to expand that code. So we need to pre-process that code. So we use a preprocessor. So that preprocessor will pre-process the statements and you get an expanded code, and that expanded code is called as pre-processed code. Clear with that? So even that can be program.c only, and then that expanded code is compiled, and after compilation it will generate an intermediate code, and that intermediate code is called as object code, which is program1.o or program1.obj. So .obj indicates object code, which is the intermediate code. .c indicates the source code. .obj indicates the object code or the intermediate code. Now once you got this intermediate code is further modified by linking the predefined files from the library files, and we process this object code, and then we generate a file called as executable code, that is program1.exe. So you observe that we got program1.c, we got program1.o, we got program1.exe. So between .c and .exe you got an intermediate file in between, that is .obj, isn't it? So that is how the program of C language is executed. We will see the same with an example. Now, whenever you have a language, that is Telugu, Hindi, English, Tamil, Malayalam, Spanish, French, that particular language will have some character set. So similarly in C language, what are the characters found? We speak the set of characters with respect to the standard C called as ANSI C, and ANSI C is found with 256 characters, and those 256 characters can be classified into four groups like alphabets: lowercase, uppercase, we have 52, 26, 26, 52, right? We got 10 digits. Special symbols and white spaces are 66, and graphic symbols are 128. Summing all of them, you get 256 characters. Clear with that? And we will learn more about C language in the upcoming videos. And for now, put down your thoughts in the comment box, and I'll be always ready to help you out. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. That's for now. Thank you.